unusual mesh net under, OLM, final preps for Starship launch, and more. Everyone is eagerly waiting for the Starship launch. The team over at SpaceX is completing the final preparations for both Booster 9 and Ship 25 and the launch pod. The question everyone has in their minds is, what are the final preps made for Starship's launch? What are the recent updates and when SpaceX will launch the Starship? Hi guys, we are here again with another updated video related to the launch of Starship for all of you. But before starting the video, if you are new to our channel, do subscribe to it and press the bell icon, so you will not miss any updates in the future. Let's start the video. Removing the lower chain covers on Booster 9 a short while ago revealed the high-pressure gas handling apparatus that provides spin-start gases to the turbo pumps on the 13 engines. China's, which were earlier referred to as notional segments, were added to Booster 9 to recover its COPVs. Fortunately, Booster 9's Chinese were replaced on the weekend. They will require those for the flight, so this is a positive indication. Remarkably, a new mesh net has been installed beneath the OLM. I have a strong suspicion that this is the first time we have seen it. The netting material's tiny mesh, the inadequate suspension technique used to hold it in place, and the height at which it has been positioned below the work area above all point to inadequate suspension. It seems to be used to catch tiny particles that fall from the work being done above to safeguard both the water deluge plate surface and the workers. We anticipate that the tank farm will be restocked as the next action. Ship 25's flight termination mechanism will be armed and the tank farm will be restocked as part of the last processing at the launch pad. The FTS, which has changed since it was created and launched, is built to make sure that if the vehicle veers off course, it will be destroyed. Ship 25 will be restacked atop Booster 9 a day or so ahead of the launch countdown preparations. When SpaceX launches, its flight director will run a poll and signal to begin propellant loading, which will start the 2-hour countdown clock. The super-cooled liquid oxygen and methane loading procedure will commence approximately 20 minutes later, after which the same propellants will be loaded into the spaceship's upper stage. The 33 Raptor 2 engines will start to chill when the countdown clock reaches fewer than 17 minutes. With 8 seconds remaining, the Raptor starter process will commence. Shortly after, the highly awaited liftoff will commence, hopefully including all 33 engines firing and the rocket accelerating. Following its intended course, the car will pass over the Gulf of Mexico and head eastward. At the mission's 55-second mark, the Starship will attain max Q, or the point of maximum aerodynamic stress. The mission's third minute will see the conclusion of the booster's boosting tasks, which will be swiftly followed by stage separation and the firing of the upper stage engines powered by methane in the vacuum of space. While testing the improvements on Booster 9 is the primary goal of this trip, any successful completion of the flying segment on Ship 25 will be considered a bonus. SpaceX will feel more confident going forward, especially about a possible orbital velocity trip in early 2024. The eventual objective of SpaceX's Starship program is to go from test launches to an operational rocket as it continues to be refined. The company wants to advance technology and set new records in space exploration with every launch. The Starship's impending status as a fully reusable launch vehicle is even more impressive than the rocket's 16.5 million pounds of force at takeoff. It is astounding that SpaceX wants to reuse both the upper stage of the Starship and the extremely heavy booster. Musk projected that there is a far greater likelihood than ever for Starship to enter orbit again. Perhaps it is as much as 60%, depending on how well we perform in the stage separation process. Starship will probably develop into a real rocket at some point. However, as SpaceX has previously demonstrated, these things take time to happen. But SpaceX will undoubtedly complete Starship. And as for costs, there's no need to worry. Elon Musk recently revealed on X that Starlink has reached break-even cash flow. Musk did not specify a time frame, so it is assumed that the revenue from the services is equivalent to Starlink's outlays. In essence, this means that the product may begin to display its number in green rather than red. 2018 saw the launch of the first 2 Starlink test satellites, 1010A and 10B, by SpaceX. These satellites served as a demonstration of the technology for the Starlink satellites, which would eventually be produced on a large scale. The company started launching the version 9 satellites, 60 at a time, a year later, with over 2 million customers worldwide. The company is currently launching its 2.0 mini satellites and is thought to be the largest satellite operator in orbit. Building a network of satellites in orbit has a significant upfront cost, and Starlink has been running at a loss since 2018. However, in 2022 and the first quarter of this year, the program experienced positive cash flow. All told, SpaceX made money while investing billions to build a fully reusable rocket in South Texas. Musk and Gwynne Shott, the CEO of SpaceX, have discussed spinning out Starlink as a separate business and going public. An IPO, or initial public offering, is a process by which a business can offer its shares for sale on a stock exchange to the general public. Would going public with Starlink, though, benefit the business? Musk frequently talks about how difficult it is to run a publicly traded company. The businessman doesn't usually exercise restraint when it comes to what he shares about his publicly traded company, Tesla. When a business is private, it can have a firm hold on its mission, spend money where it might not make sense to non-mission invested shareholders, and generally not have to worry about having to be transparent about its finances. This is another way that private businesses differ from public ones. Public businesses sometimes experience a slowed down pace of innovation due to their greater obligation to enhance shareholder values. Out of the last 100 IPOs, only 27 had positive returns as of Friday's market closing. This could be another cause for concern. Of those initial public offerings, only 5 yielded returns of 100 or more. Musk has stated that Starlink IPO consideration would come when the program went into the green. His recent statement could mean that the milestones are near or already here. The industry is concerned about the program's future after NASA postponed contract awards for the development of a lunar rover for upcoming Artemis missions by 4 months. NASA had planned to award a contract in November for the Lunar Terrain Vehicle, or LTV services. NASA stated that it planned to present 1 or more awards on November 27th in a final request for proposals that was published on May 26. The original deadline for submissions was July 13th. However, it was later extended to July 26th. The anticipated contract award was, however, modified by NASA in recent weeks to March 31, 2024. This modification was made on a procurement website, but it omitted to mention the cause of the 4-month delay. A NASA spokesperson stated on October 30 that the agency had postponed the award to give more time to review proposals. However, the official did not provide any further details. As a result of the ongoing procurement process, industry representatives who were speaking on background conjectured that the delay might be related to NASA's budget uncertainty for the fiscal year 2024. As per their statement, delaying the deadline until the end of March could allow NASA additional time to ascertain the funding allocation for the LTV endeavor for the upcoming year, including the possibility of funding multiple awards. Several companies have stated their plans to compete for the LTV contract, including startups like Astrolabe and Intuitive Machines, as well as established companies like Lotus, Lockheed Martin, and Tydian Brown, that have led to unique partnerships like Lockheed working with automaker General Motors and Lotus partnering with NASCAR, the auto racer company. By the end of the decade, NASA plans to begin using the rovers with the Artemis 5 mission. Similar to other components of Artemis, NASA intends to lease the LTV lunar rover to private companies, who will then be able to use it for other purposes when it's not needed for Artemis missions. NASA has chosen at least 2 providers for other services under separate service contracts. But for LATV, NASA has only stated that it will choose 1 or more providers. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and let us know in the comment section which latest update you liked the most.